Amen. Good evening, Rabbi. It says in the Gemara, Masechet Brachot, that if a person wants to have credit for fasting 2 days, can you imagine a person fasted 2 days for Yom Kippur? How can a person fast 2 days? So it says the Gemara, the way to do it, we cannot fast 2 days because we're too weak to do that. We don't have the strength, bodily strength, to fast for 2 days. If you want to be credited for fasting 2 days, what should you do? Make sure you eat the day before Yom Kippur a good meal, good solid meal, eat some good meals, and this way they credit you that you had 2 meals. That you fasted for 2 days. They give you a lot of credit for that. What's the reason why? Because a person, if he goes into the fast without eating properly, what's going to be is going to be very weak. If he's going to be very weak, he's not going to be able to fast. He's going to have a problem. He's not going to be able to pray properly because he's not strong enough. So the way to solve this problem is by eating good the day before. And if a person does this, they give him credit like he fasted for 2 days, which is an amazing thing because nobody can really do that, but they give you credit for that. So what should a person do? Eat good the day before. What does that mean? Tomorrow. When you wake up tomorrow, have some nice meals. The minimum requirement is to have at least 1 meal. But if a person can have more, it's a mitzvah to have more. 2, 3, right? Some people even have the custom to do 7 meals. Who can do 7 meals, right? That's a little bit exaggerated. Can you close the door over there? I'm sorry. It's very, very noisy. Yeah. Thank you. So, as we said, try to do as many meals as possible. You want to get ready. You want to be strong enough to fast, and you don't want to have any problems. So make sure also you drink enough as well.
Yeah, you say.
Right? Make sure you drink slowly. Don't drink like last minute, right before Shkiyat HaChama, starting jugging down gallons of water, because the body won't be able to absorb it like that. So what should you do? Drink slowly, go little by little. 1 glass over here, 1 glass over here, every half hour, every hour, drink a little bit more. This way, when you put it into your body slowly, the body absorbs it properly, and this way it can be a great benefit because you won't be so thirsty on Yom Kippur that you're going to be about to faint, right? That's the idea. We want to avoid things like this, that people should be very weak like that. I remember one day, this was a long time ago, when we were in praying in that shul over there in 108, that place over there, which is not such a good shul, it's a bad shul. But we were there about 40 years ago, until we moved to this building. We were over there. So over there was one guy who was a relative of mine, actually, and we were sitting together on Yom Kippur, both of us fasting, we were young guys, and he fainted, like on Yom Kippur, right in the middle of the prayers. Boom! He just collapsed on the floor. Yeah, I'll tell you exactly what it was. I'll tell you. He fainted on the floor. So what happened? They called an ambulance. They took him out, and they treated him. So it turned out that he had a problem. His problem was that he's epileptic. He has epilepsy. So yeah, what happens is that with epilepsy, you never know when it's going to come. But the truth is, the people who have underlying conditions, they have all kinds of problems, health problems. Then when they don't drink and they don't eat properly the day before, it's going to be even worse. It's going to have a bigger effect. So you have to make sure, that you're ready, come in ready. Don't try to do everything last minute. Try to get started early. There's also another thing which is very important to know, that Chachamim said that there's a mitzvah to do Tosefet Yom Kippur. Just like there's a mitzvah to do Tosefet Shabbat, there's also a mitzvah to do Tosefet Yom Kippur. So what does that mean, Tosefet Yom Kippur?
Extra. Yeah,
right. What does that mean? That you should try to do it a little bit early. Don't wait till Shkiyat HaChama. Don't wait till the sun goes down, which is going to be about 7:04, whatever it is, right? Tomorrow. Don't wait until that time. You have to stop a little bit earlier. There's a mitzvah to stop a little bit earlier. How much do you have to add to do Tosefet Yom Kippur? So it says Shulchan Aruch, you can do whatever you want, right? Echad HaMarbeh, Echad HaMamit, U'iblat sheyichaven libod le'avir shebashamayim. That's the idea, right? So do as much as you want, but add something to it. Don't go until Shkia. Don't go till the sun goes down. And you've done a mitzvah of Tosefet Yom Kippur, right? Which is a nice mitzvah also, right? Try to do as much as you can. Every little thing that you do extra, before Yom Kippur, it's going to help you to have a good judgment, to have a good kapara, to have a good selicha, to have a good forgiveness. This also try to remember, don't go until the last minute, for your meal. So what does that mean? Try to start the meal a little bit earlier, so this way you won't have to go till the last minute, and then you're going to be worried, is there time to brush my teeth? Is there time to wash my hands, take a shower? Well, you're waiting till the last minute to do these things. Until the sun goes down, then you're worried about taking a shower. It's too late already by that time. You know what I mean? Try to get started early. Everything, go on time. This way you come into Yom Kippur nice and relaxed and happy. No pressure. Huh?
What's the bottom line?
What time we start eating?
So, as we said, right, that you have to stop eating before the sun goes down.
And when do you start? Like 4 o'clock, 4:30?
Start what? Yeah, so you have to stop before the sun goes down.
When you start, you said early, so what time?
So that's what I mean, right? Add a few minutes to that. Some people add 15 minutes. So the sun goes down 7:04. So you want to add 15 minutes, it's going to be 6:50. Right? You want to add 5 minutes, that's fine, no problem. Whatever you want to do, right? 4 minutes you want to do, you can do 4 minutes. You want to do 10 minutes, you can do 10 minutes. You choose, right? It's your choice. Whatever you want, right? Just make sure you add something to show that you're doing Tosefet Yom Kippur. This is the idea, right? This way, right, you'll be doing everything the proper way and not, just haphazard, like this, going in last minute. Also, another thing, the rabbis told us an interesting thing, which is that a person before Yom Kippur shouldn't eat foods that heat up the body, to make the body hot. Because what happens when you heat up the body? Lo aleinu, a person could have a seminal emission, keri. Right? You could see keri on Yom Kippur because the body is hot, So he's sleeping at night, all of a sudden he wakes up in the morning, he's wet, right? This is a very bad thing, that a person is going to see keri on Yom Kippur. This is a very scary thing because, that shows that he's got some problems up there, There's some issues that are going on, So they say that he's in danger, this guy, right? He may not even make it through the year. And if he does, it's like a miracle, It's like he had a lot of zchuyot. You know what I mean? So Hashem Yinachem, try to avoid this. How do you try to avoid it? Very simple, Don't eat like spicy foods, very spicy, Don't be now tomorrow like Israeli, Don't be too Sephardi, a little bit less spices, what I mean? A little bit,
soup.
do a little bit Ashkenazi tomorrow,
Soup.
Not too much spices, not too much hot stuff, right? That's the idea, And also they say, not to eat like very fatty meat and things like this, they heat up the body, these kinds of things.
Soup.
So what should you eat? The best thing to eat, is like chicken, like a chicken breast, something like this. It's not too fatty, it's not too spicy, schnitzel, something like that. I'm just giving you an example. You don't have to have schnitzel. Don't tell your wife now, the rabbi said, you have to make schnitzel. No, I didn't say that. What I'm saying is something like that, which is not too spicy, not too extreme. That's the idea, right?
Fish is okay?
I didn't tell her what to make schnitzel. She can make whatever she wants.
Fish is good. Fish.
So regarding this issue of not eating foods that heat up the body, so the truth is, that this only applies to men. It doesn't apply to women, right? Even though you're not going to find this written in the Shulchan Aruch, right? But it's talking about men only, right? Women don't have this problem, what in their body, seminal emission. There's such a thing like that with them. So therefore, they can eat whatever they want, right? They can have Moroccan fish tomorrow, no problem,
fish
right?
That's
No problem for the women. We're talking about only for the men. We have a problem by that, The women have no problem, right? But usually the men and women are eating the same thing, right? They're not having two different dinners, so they're eating the same thing. Okay, whatever. But anyway, right? The point is to try to avoid something which heats up your body. Eat like light foods, light kalim, machalim kalim. That's the idea, right? So if you do that, right, you're going to be protected more, and hopefully, right, you won't have any problems that night, with all kinds of things. By the way, they say, that when it comes to seminal emission, how should a person avoid that all year round? How should he avoid it, right? You don't want to get that any time of the year, not only on Yom Kippur. The way to avoid it is to, first of all, stop looking around at things you shouldn't be looking at, number one, right? Don't look at, all kinds of things, the opposite sex, right? Don't get involved with that stuff. Keep your eyes down, and keep them in your place. Whatever you should be looking at, don't look at. Number one, this is the main problem that we have. today, when it comes to Keri. Also, there's another thing, which is don't have bad thoughts. Don't watch things, that give you bad thoughts in your mind. This is also how to avoid it, right? Another thing. So these are ways, to keep your thoughts clean. But the truth is, that whatever you do, by the way, you should know. I want to tell you one important thing. That on Yom Kippur, you shouldn't think, by the way, Yom Kippur is only a day of prayers. This is a very big mistake, Unfortunately, when you go to the Ashkenazim, what do they do over there? All they do is pray on Yom Kippur, They don't have time for anything else because their prayers are so long. This is not a good thing, by the way, you should know. Why is that? Because we also have the mitzvah of Talmud Torah on Yom Kippur. What do you think? We're patur from Talmud Torah? We don't have to learn Torah on Yom Kippur? This is a big mistake. Right? If that was the case, by the way, we have no Talmud Torah on Yom Kippur, we wouldn't be saying the Birkat Torah, right? Baruch Atah Hashem Noten Torah. Why are we saying these brachot? Because we're commanded to learn Torah also on Yom Kippur. So what does that mean? That a person should learn Torah on Yom Kippur as well. But if your prayers are going so long, that there's no time to learn, so this is not a good, go to a different minyan. This is not a good minyan. It's going like this. What does that mean? They're finishing Musaf at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then Mincha starts at 3:15. So what are you giving me time to go to the bathroom? Excuse my expression, right? That's all I have time. Where's my Talmud Torah going to be on Yom Kippur? I have to learn also some Torah. You got to give me some time, right? You want to know how it was with Maran, Rabbi Shalom? I was praying there for several years in his shul, right over there in the high holy days. So Maran, we were starting over there at 6:30 Yom Kippur, right? 6:30, not nets. He didn't like to do nets so much, the rabbi. He was a little bit against it also, because of Bitul Torah. He didn't like it so much nets. But anyway, we used to start at 6:30, 11:30 we were finished. This was Yom Kippur at Maran. Right? You should know this is the proper way to do it. You wanna really know how to do it? This is the way. It was, but you shouldn't think, by the way, that they were rushing, and we were running, trying to run here. No rushing, no running. Everything was beautiful. The best chazanim in the world were coming there, to be chazanim on Yom Kippur. It was like you're listening to the angels, angels of God, Moshe Chabusha, Uzan, these people, the best chazanim in the world were there. But nevertheless, with all their monkey note and all their chazanut, 11:30 out the door. We were out the door. That's the way it was, So why should it be more than that? Yom Kippur, right? Shachrit and Musaf should be more than 5 hours. Too much. Crazy, If you're doing more than 5 hours, you should know something is wrong there. You're not doing your schedule properly. You're wasting time over there. Too much waste. As they say, in the Americans, they say too much pork, in the budget, too much pork you got in there. You're doing things which you should not be doing. What does that mean? Each aliyah, it comes somebody for aliyah on Yom Kippur, he paid $10,000 for the aliyah, $20,000. And they stand there, 20 minutes blessing him, Mishpacha shelo, his family, his children, his grandchildren, this, that. Who needs all this? Pukuzevi on Yom Kippur? Keep it, it's quick on Yom Kippur. Don't do these kinds of things. Each aliyah on Yom Kippur, how long should it take? 2 minutes, 3 minutes. What, 20 minutes it should take each aliyah? This is why you're wasting time. Then you wonder, why am I doing Musaf, 2 o'clock in the afternoon? Now it's time for Musaf? What does it say in the Mishnah? It says in Masechet Brachot that Musaf you're supposed to do before the 7th hour of the day. Today, right, in our schedule, what's the 7th hour of the day? What time is that? 2 o'clock. Yeah, like 10 minutes to 2. 5 minutes to 2. So if you're starting Musaf at 2 o'clock, you know what it says in Mishnah, right? How does it poshea? You're poshea. Can you imagine? You're making yourself poshea on Yom Kippur. What is poshea? Sinner. Criminal. He's a criminal. So if you're starting Musaf at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you made yourself into a criminal on Yom Kippur. Is this the way it's supposed to be? No. You have to. So what does that mean? Start everything on time. Don't waste your time on Yom Kippur with all kinds of nonsense. Also, I want to tell you that on Yom Kippur, a person has to really regret his sins, and as I always tell people, that there was 2 days out of the year that Maran used to cry, I used to see him crying over there in the shul. Tisha B'Av and Yom Kippur, right? Yeah. Tisha B'Av, he used to cry during the keynote. Because of the Churban Bet HaMikdash, it brought him to tears always, never failed, right? Number one. Number two, he was also crying on Yom Kippur. You know when he was crying on Yom Kippur? two places I can tell you he was crying, right? When he was doing the long vidui, the long vidui that we do. He was crying. He started to remember, the sins and this and that. It brought him to tears, always. You know what the Arizal says about that, right? He says that a person doesn't cry on Yom Kippur, something is wrong with his neshama. Something is not correct there. Okay, we're talking about high levels. We're not talking about here about halakha. There's no halakha, you have to cry on Yom Kippur. But it's a proper thing to do, if you really regret your sins and you really feel bad about what you did, you should have shed some tears. And if you don't, you're an insensitive person, a little bit something is not right there, you're not really you're not in the right ballpark a little bit, you know what I mean? Not halakha, this is chasidut a little bit, but anyway, it's good to know. And also, when he used to cry Maran on Yom Kippur, another place, besides the vidui, he used to cry when we did the haftarah for the mincha, right? You know what we read for haftarah, mincha? Yonah, right, we need Yonah. So he used to go up always and read the haftarah for Yonah, the rabbi himself, Maran. And when he would start to get into the story of Yonah, he would always start crying at that time, Why? What's the reason why? Anybody know?
They're going to tshuva, we didn't do that.
Exactly, it's a whole tragedy over there, the story of Yonah. If you know, right, exactly what you're saying, Azi. Exactly the point, right? So, it's a very tragic kind of story there, he wanted to avoid the decree of Hashem, he tried to run away, it's a whole thing over there. It's not a very pleasant thing to, so when he used to hear this story, Man always used to cry, because it's a very emotional kind of thing, it brought him to tears. So that's also another thing, right, that a person should try, to come to a little bit, really to have harata, to have really regret of Yom Kippur. Not just to, like mechanical. Don't be mechanical in Yom Kippur. If you really regret the sins that you did, you should really regret them, get a little bit worried about that, that's the idea, right? So, you have to make sure that this is what happens. Okay, very good. So, also I want to tell you something else, that regarding medicines, right, on Yom Kippur. If a person who's sick, first of all, number one, I want to tell you, right, if a person has an illness, if he's an old person or whatever it is, right, some kind of illness, the doctor tells him you cannot fast on Yom Kippur. So you really should not fast. You have to listen to your doctor. Don't be a wise guy, and try to say, what, on Yom Kippur I'm going to eat? What? All my life I never ate on Yom Kippur. Right? No such a thing like that. So Maran used to tell us a story about this, that happened to him personally. There was a place that he used to pray, Maran, one of the Bukharian shuls in Yerushalayim. I think the name, Borochov, right? Borochov. So at Borochov, he used to pray over there, and there was one Gabbai over there, who his name was Borochov also, right? His name was Yoni Borochov, I think. That was his name. Yoni Borochov. So what happened was that this guy was an old guy. The doctor told him, don't fast on Yom Kippur. So he came to Maran, and he told him, how can I eat on Yom Kippur? No such a thing like that. I never did this in my life, to eat on Yom Kippur. Chas v'shalom. What kind of thing is this? He says, I can't do that. So Maran told him, he warned him, to this guy. He told the Gabbai, he told him, listen, you better listen to the doctor. If you don't, you should know, right? Whatever happens, it's going to be on your head. Don't play games, don't be a hero. If the doctor tells you, you have to eat. Don't play games like that. He was diabetic, he was a sick man, old man, So what happened? In the end, he decided not to listen to the rabbi. Didn't listen to the rabbi. He wanted to become a hero. So what did he do? He fasted on Yom Kippur. So what happens, right? That in the afternoon, sometime over there, he faints on the floor, falls on the floor, call ambulance, they have to call the ambulance, take him to the hospital, right? And then what happened, right? They announced that he's dead. Died, passed away. Right? So you see from here, right, that if you don't listen to the Chachamim, you don't listen to the doctors when it comes to this issue, Damo berosho, that's what it says about you, what I mean? That it's your fault. You brought the death on yourself. You killed yourself by not eating on Yom Kippur, because they told you, you have to eat. So don't be a hero, If the doctor tells you, listen to him. They know what they're talking about, the doctors. That's one thing, right? Number one. Number two, also, when it comes to medicines, are you allowed to take medicines on Yom Kippur? And the answer is, Rabbi, very simply, we already discussed this before, in terms of halachic issue regarding medicines, that the rule is like this, that any medicine which doesn't have a taste, has no taste, or a bad taste, bitter taste, you're allowed to take it on Yom Kippur. If you need it, right? If you have a sickness or something, some kind of condition, there's no problem to take any medicine which has no taste or bad taste. So if you have a tablet, right? No taste, bad taste, bitter tablet, no problem. If you need it, doctor told you need this medicine, take it. There's no reason to be machmir about that. Why is that? Because it says in the Gemara Masechet Psachim, that anything you don't enjoy the taste from it, there's no isur, there's no prohibition of eating, and there's also no prohibition of kashrut when it comes to something like that. You know, there's not this and not that, not Yom Kippur, not kashrut. So even if there's something non-kosher in the medicine, no problem. Why is that? Because you're not enjoying it. This is the reason why. I'm sorry? I can't hear you. I can't hear you, I'm sorry. Can you, yeah. Oh, you want to take it with water? If there's no other way, you can take it with water. If there's no other way, if you need it, only if you need it. You know, if there's no other way. If you can swallow it without water, try to swallow without water. If you need water, a little bit. Not too much, right? Don't take a lot of water. If you need the doctor told you need this medicine, you can do it. Yes, no problem. So, as we said, right, that any medicine which has no taste, no problem. So then, what is the problem? The problem is when the medicine has a good taste. So there, it has to be kosher, you know? So if you're not sure if this medicine is kosher and it has a good taste, there's also a solution for that. You know what the solution is? Anybody know? Very simple, right? Rabbi Scheinberg used to tell us this, you know? Alav Shalom. Also, Maran Rabbi, he writes in his books as well. What you do is like this: you coat the pill in a plastic wrapper, you know, some saran wrap or whatever. You swallow it like that. That means what? You didn't get any hana. You didn't enjoy the taste of it.
But the medication goes to the body when it's covered?
It goes. Don't worry. It'll go. God bless. Godspeed. It'll go. Don't worry. So that's the way it works, right? So any pill which has a good taste, sweet, you need to take it on Yom Kippur, wrap it up, you know, in saran wrap, and swallow it like that. That's the way it's done, you know. And don't worry, it's not going to give you, it's not going to hurt your stomach. That little wrapping, you know, a little bit. You do just a little bit, you know, to wrap it up. It's no big deal. You're not going to get food poisoning, you know, nothing. Nobody's going to bother you about that. So that's the way it's done, Rabbi. But the only problem is like this, you know, that when the medicine is like a liquid, you know, and it has good taste, so there, you have to make sure that it's kosher, you know. Unless it's pikuach nefesh, unless it's something which is life-threatening. Right? That's already something else. If it's something which is life-threatening, what does that mean? Doctor tells you, listen, if you don't take this medicine, you know, you may die, you know, or your health may deteriorate until the point, you know, where you're going to be in danger. You know what I mean? So if that's the case, then you should take it, whatever it is. But if you can find out that it's kosher, much better, right? You can find out the ingredients, whatever. You know, go get into it. Ask the OU, ask some rabbi to help you with that, and make sure that it's kosher, right? If you can. But if you can't, if you weren't able to find out, no problem. Just take it. You know, if the doctor tells you that you need it, it's going to hurt your health very much. You're going to deteriorate, or your life is going to be in danger. Chas v'shalom. Right? The truth is, you know, that the halacha says like this: even safek pikuach nefesh, you break Yom Kippur at Shabbat. What does that mean? Even if it's a doubt, he may die, he may not die. 50-50. You know, even that we break it. You know, it doesn't have to be for sure. Even safek, even doubt, is going to be. You have to break it. The Baruch Hu should give us a good new year, Hashem, good judgment, slicha v'chapara, mechila v'slicha, to all Am Yisrael, amen ve'amen, Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen, Rabbi Chanan v'shomer, tzakadosh Baruch Hu tzavod Yisrael, Rabbi Chanan v'shomer, tzavod Yisrael, למען צדקו יגדיל תורה וידיר.